Welcome to the Real-Time Storytime by robertrricks. We will get this thing started pretty soon. What I need for you guys right now is just to hold tight. We need to allow people to show up because this show is nothing without the viewers. You see, I require keywords or phrases that you will give me, and I will craft a story based off these keywords. I have about 2.5 minutes to create the story, and then after I create the story, I have to see if I got all of the keywords in, at least 10 of them. We try to have at least 10 to 14 keywords, and I attempt to get all of them in, but if I can get at least 10, it's a good day. Now, I know you guys are going to have some really crazy ones. Now, I do need to warn any new viewers. The existing crew that comes here on a regular basis are filthy, nasty motherfuckers with foul language. If the language is going to be a problem, you might want to check out now, because these stories, 9 times out of 10, are extremely vulgar, sometimes violent, oftentimes very weird, sometimes funny. Alright, we'll get this thing started pretty soon. Hang tight.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yo, 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 what's up, sitches? It's your boy, Angry Jackalope Robert R. Ricks. It is time for story time, yes indeed. And it looks like my counter up there is getting somewhat obstructed by the live stream deal. I put a new layout up there. My dog's going crazy back there. And as you can see, let me put my phone... I'm going to put my phone on vibrate, and it looks like my son was messaging me a little bit. We ran out of toothpaste. We need some. Yeah, okay. All right. I guess I'll put my phone over here. All right, so this is a live stream on YouTube initially, but then it is made into a podcast after the fact. So the way that this works is usually we get between 10 to 14 keywords or phrases from the viewers that are here live. Right now we've got 8, so we shouldn't have a hard time getting 10 to 14 keyword or phrases. And what we do at that point is I give myself a couple of minutes to try to figure out a story, and then I go ahead and rock and roll that story. And if the story turns out to be kind of cool, what happens after the fact is I kind of revise it, and it goes into its own little novella. So you guys might see under current project there's Harry's Situation, which was one of my favorite real-time story times that we did. I really, really enjoyed that one. So that was the very first one to get made into a novella. And that's going to be coming out pretty soon and will be available. So anyway, that's a little bit of housekeeping out of the way right now. For you folks that are not watching this live on YouTube or watching a video replay on realtimestorytime.com, and you're checking it out on a podcast or whatever, people will start submitting their keywords and stuff when they hear this tone.
Please submit your words now.
And then you'll hear some music, and that's basically, you won't hear any talking or anything at that point because they're at giving me words and things like that. I will then read out the words so you guys know what the words are, and give myself a couple of minutes to figure out a story, do the story, and I will try to put it in. The folks that are watching, they will actually see a flash of the keywords when it's being used, because there's a little visual cue that's on the screen. But you folks that are listening on a podcast, you won't hear that or see that. Just keep it in the back of your head when I read out the keywords, and then you'll be able to kind of follow behind. And at the end of the story, there's usually a little bit of a recap, unless the story fills up most of the time. And that's going to be that. I'm going to go ahead and say hello to the folks that are in right now. So we got Brian, we got Vixen, we got Garen, we got Liberlope, we got Backwoods Sickle, we got Johnny Ball, we got Matt. Mr. Matt hasn't been here for a while, but it's good to see you. So we've got, like I said, we've got 9 viewers, and we got the Yakalope. Mr. Yakalope, Yak Yak, Yakety Tack is in the house. So we're going to go ahead and get this shit started. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Boop.
Please submit your words now.
So go ahead and feel free to start throwing some stuff out. I'm getting my book and stuff ready here. We're going to start some music. Boom. And I'm going to go ahead, get my journal ready here. Last week's show was actually pretty good. It was Mommy Died, but She's Not Dead. And that was actually a really fun one. So I'm kind of interested to see where we go this week. And we are sitting June 9th, 06/09/19. So Chlamydia, Warmongering, Mystic Rainbow Calico Kitten. Oh, I see you. 812. Okay. All right. So this is going to be an interesting one, I think. Warmongering. Chlamydia backwards. Mystic Rainbow Calico Kitten. OIC U812 Backwoods. Verbal Enema, huh? What the fuck? It's a verbal. Okay. Verbal Enema. Holy shit, you guys are. Harley, Davidson, Hardtail motorcycle, and then okay, you're gonna have to tell me what that is, Zach. Propylene glycol. propylene glycol. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to look some of this shit up because you guys are throwing stuff at me. I'm gonna have to look up narcissistic Blackbird. Narcissistic Blackbird, okay. Oh, he doesn't know how to use the three seashells. That's kind of what a verbal enema is. Okay. Warmongering, Chlamydia, Mystic Rainbow, Calico, Kitten, OICU 812, Verbal Enema, Harley Davidson, Hardtail, Motorcycle, propylene glycol. I'm going to have to see what that is. Narcissistic Blackbird, that's 8. And, Brian, is that your phrase? Oh, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells? It looks like you have a quote there, so I'm going to assume that's your phrase you'd like to see in here. Oh, he doesn't know how to use the three seashells. Okay. Verbal enema is someone who talks constant bullshit. Okay, perfect. So you start talking shit, okay. It's a chemical compound. Okay, but what is the chemical compound? That's the question. So now I'm going to have to look it up. Alright, so let me look up what. And I still need at least one more. See, Propylene glycol. Yeah, I know people might be like, dude, you don't know what the fuck that is, dude. That's fucking. That's fucking nothing, dude. Let's see. Propylene glycol is a synthetic organic compound. It's viscous, colorless liquid which is nearly odorless but possesses faintly sweet taste. It's alcohol. See, broad range of solvents: water, acetone, and chloroform. Okay, so what is it? It says it's used in food. Food and Drug Administration classified additive generally recognized as safe for food use. Cosmetics, broadly used food, drug, cosmetics, and personal care product manufacturers. It's a food additive. Okay, so is there? So they use it like in face creams and shit like that. Oh, looks like it's also used in e-cigarettes. Okay. Yeah, see, this is the thing that kind of sucks when it's something I'm not familiar with and I got to try to figure out how to use it inside of a sentence because I don't know what the fuck it is. Then I have to research it really quickly and figure out what it is. So foods contain propanol glycol, debunking antifreeze, e-liquid, see vaping industry paid a victim many lies and half truths, blah blah blah. What is propanol glycol? Propanol glycol is nearly odorless substance, technically classified as alcohol. It's used in flavor teas, ice cream, cake frosting, cake mixes, food colorings, and blah blah blah. Okay. Okie dokie. Foo Fighters. Hi, Kim. Foo Fighters. Propylene glycol. If you ever bought flavored tea from Dunkin' Donuts, you've likely ingested a bit of propanol glycol. Antifreeze. Okay, that works a little better. We're going to swap out propanol glycol with antifreeze. That makes life a lot easier for me. Thank you very much for that. Alright, Foo Fighters. And did we have another one in there? Let's see. Beyond the law, I am the law. Okay. Now, Brian, I need some clarifications just to be on the safe side. Beyond the law, I am the law. Oh, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. That was a phrase you wanted in there, right? If so, I think we're good. That would give us beyond the law, I am the law. I am the law. I gotta make sure I can read my own writing here, because I have to glance at this shit from time to time. And I think we're good. Alright, Kim, if you want to throw in a word or a phrase, we are going to attempt to throw that inside. The words we currently have right now are Warmongering, Chlamydia, Mystic Rainbow, Calico, Kitten, OICU 812, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a Van Halen album, right? OICU 812, if I'm not mistaken. That's, that was... I believe that was Van Halen. I think it was. I think I had that album. Yeah, it was the eighth album. It was pretty good. Yeah, I really liked that album, actually. All right, Backwoods. You have a good one, brother. Okay, so I see 1, 2. That was Van Halen. Let's see. Verbal, Enema, Harley Davidson, Hardtail. Hardtail. I gotta make sure I can read that. Hardtail motorcycle. I'm just gonna make sure I can visually picture that kind of motorcycle. Oh, wow. I like that. Okay, that's a dope-ass motorcycle right there. Okay. I got that in my head now. Antifreeze, Narcissistic Blackbird. Okay, Narcissistic Blackbird. Was that just a combination of words you wanted to try, or is that actually something? Narcissistic. I just want to make sure it's not a phrase that people, Blackbird, people use. Let's see, Narcissistic Blackbird. Nope, it's not something that people typically say. So Narcissistic Blackbird. Okay. Okay. Rebel Yell. All right. I think I see a trend here. I'm thinking we're gonna probably be in the fucking 80s here. I think that's what it's feeling like to me. So I know Foo Fighters. That's also a band, but it was also the name of some spaceships that the military would be fucking with back in the day. Let's double check something real quick. I think since this is taking a little longer than it normally does, this will tend to be probably a little bit longer than normal, just because I want to make sure. So Foo Fighters is yeah, UFOs. That's what I thought it was. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so what we got right now is just combination. Okay, this is a Narcissistic Blackbird. Okay, so we got Warmongering, we got Chlamydia, Mystic Rainbow, Calico, Kitten, OICU 812, Verbal, Enema, Harley Davidson, Hardtail motorcycle, Antifreeze, Narcissistic Blackbird. Oh, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. Foo Fighters, Beyond the Law, I Am the Law, and Rebel Yell. So now I have to take those words and figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with them. So let's go ahead and get some music started while I ponder this, and we'll get this story started. So here we go. Alright, so now I've got my keywords. I've got a loose idea. So the keywords again and phrases are warmongering, chlamydia, mystic rainbow, calico kitten, OICU 812, verbal enema, Harley Davidson, hardtail motorcycle, antifreeze, narcissistic blackbird. He doesn't know how to use the three seashells. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart. That's a tongue twister. Tongue twister. Let's see. Foo Fighters, Beyond the Law, I Am the Law, and Rebel Yell. Well, I gotta say, you guys definitely are throwing me for a tough one here, and just so you can see, that's all the notes that I have right here, which is not a lot of notes. So this shit is gonna be really off the cuff here, and I really don't know where this is gonna go, and I hope I'm gonna be able to craft some shit out of this, because I gotta tell you, wow. So let me take a sip of my beverage. Okay. All right. Billie throttled her motorcycle, and Jackson kept pace behind her. They were rolling down the California coastline. It had been a trip they had been planning for the better part of a year, and it was nice to finally get out and feel the wind in their hair. She gunned it hard, pressed it, felt the motorcycle exploding, riding powerful between her legs. She always loved riding her Harley Davidson hardtail motorcycle. Oopsie. Jackson, on the other hand, had one of those Asian rice rockets, which she shook her head when she looked back ever so often. Why he wanted a piece of shit like that, she had no idea. But it didn't matter. They were out in the road, feeling free, away from all the bullshit. She looked back. She noticed something was dripping off the side of his motorcycle. She motioned for them to pull to the side. He nodded. They pulled off. She got off of hers, stepped back, walked towards him. Sure enough, she could see there was some antifreeze that seemed to be dripping from his motorcycle. He said, "Fuck, are you serious? I just took care of this not too long ago." She was like, "Well, I guess you're kind of shit out of luck. What do you want to do?" He goes, "Well, it's not too bad. Why don't we just pull into the next little rest stop over there, and I'll make a couple calls and see what I can figure out." She nodded. Fine. They started up and rolled down, thundering as they went. Well, she thundered. He kind of purred a little bit. He had a little piece of shit, and she realized how weak it was riding with him, but he was her best friend since high school. They got down to the end, and they saw an exit. They took it. She didn't recognize the town. It was something she hadn't seen before, and that struck her as odd, because she had driven this stretch of the road hundreds of times in the past. She looked at him as they rode side by side, inquisitively, and he also seemed to note the road was not what he had remembered either. They took the exit, and they saw some signs that said reservation land, and she thought, how odd. She didn't recall any reservations being this close to the coastline, but she didn't care. They pulled in. There was one of those old-time gas stations. She thought, perfect, this will work very well. So they pulled in. A man came out. He had overalls on, was filthy, had a white t-shirt that maybe had been white once before, but now was severely brown, black, grayish, chunks of smudged oil and grease in different places, and there were even a couple that were comically down on his crotch, which she noted and thought was hilarious. They got off the bikes. The man looked at Jackson's bike, perplexed. What the hell's that there? Motorcycle? I ain't never seen one like that before. He looked at mine. That's a nice bike right there. I like it. I nodded. Thanks. His is kind of leaking. Take a peek at it? He walked up. He looked at it. Yeah, I can tell you what the problem is right now. What's that? It's a piece of shit. I laughed. I looked at him. I looked over at Jackson. I fucking told you. He shrugged. Fuck off. He's got water inside? Yes, sir. He went inside. Got some water. I kind of looked around a little bit. Things felt off. Hey, excuse me, sir? Yep. What is the name of this area right here? What? Did you fall down and hit your head or something? She said, no. You're in California. Well, I know that. I'm just asking what's the name of this exit right here. I didn't reckon it says reservation. Yeah, this is a reservation of the Blackfoot. You sure about that? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking sure. I paid him some bitches on a regular basis for me to have my gas station here. I nodded. Okay, I guess I just never saw this before. Yeah, it's a little off the beaten track. It's okay, though. So, I walked and continued, and as I did, I saw what I initially thought was a hut. And as I got closer, I realized it was some kind of a structure, but one that looked really different. I mean, it had a feel of a native structure in that it was made of wood and it had rope lashed to it, but it bent in odd places. The wood almost seemed symmetrical, but not symmetrical. It was really weird. So I thought about going back and grabbing Jackson and having him go with me, but I decided, shit, I'll go on my own. Fuck him. So I walked over, and there was an entrance. I peeked in. Hello? Nobody said anything. There was really no door, and I thought maybe it was one of those sideshow attractions that you could see sometimes when you travel the back roads. I walked in. Immediately, I felt a tingling. There was a heavy ozone scent, kind of like right before a really awesome thunderstorm. I walked in and smelled the air and felt the electricity. I was like, wow, this has got power here. I walked over and there was a woman sitting in the middle of the hut, for lack of a better expression, in Indian pose. But she was not an Indian. She was a white lady, like me. So I walked up and said, hey, how you doing? She looked at me and smiled warmly, got up, extended her hand, and I shook it. As my hand touched her hand, there was a little bit of a static discharge. It was shock. I was like, whoa, guess you have an electric personality. She smiled. Hi, what's your name? I said, my name's Billie. Why are you here, Billie? I took that as an odd question. It wasn't loaded. It wasn't edged. It was a genuine question, but one of confusion. Like, you would say, hey, I'm in here taking a shit. Why are you standing in my stall? Kind of a question. Odd. My friend's bike broke, and so we're going to try to fix it and grab some stuff. We're just taking a road trip. Oh, okay. She sat back down and ignored me. I took that as my cue to leave her the fuck alone. I turned and walked out. I walked over to the shop and went inside, and I saw Jackson staring at rows and rows of cassette tapes, and he looked confused. What's wrong, dude? You know I'm kind of a retro guy, right? You know I like old school shit. Yeah. Look at this. And I did. There was Van Halen's album, OICU 812. There was even Billy Idol's Rebel Yell as a single. There was quite a few old school cassettes there. But the thing was, they didn't look old. They looked brand new. They were shrink wrapped. Huh. Well, maybe this is, one of those places that you can find like little nuggets of gold and whatnot. He nodded. Yeah, but here's the other thing. Check this out. So I followed him towards the back where they had the water and stuff. Normally you walk into a gas station, you look around, and there's rows and rows and rows of display cases filled with different beverages. You've got your Mountain Dew, you've got your beers, you've got all kinds of different things. But this cooler basically just had water. It had Coke. It had a few other beverages, but they all were kind of a retro feel to them. What the hell, dude? He looked at me, I looked at him. We were nervous. Then we started to chuckle. Somebody's fucking punking us, right? I nodded. Must be. Every so often you'd see something on YouTube where they would pull some kind of elaborate prank and the people would just lose their shit. We were smarter than that. We figured it out in, 15 seconds? Alright, let's just grab some stuff and go and take care of business. We went and looked around the different areas, and they had duct tape and they had more antifreeze and some other stuff like that. So we had everything that we needed to patch the bike up and get back on the road. We went to the cash register, put on our items, and they started to ring everything up, and the lady said $5.30. And I looked at her. I looked at Jackson, and he looked at me. You sure about that? She said, yep. I kind of tilted my head, confused. Okay. He pulled out his card. The woman looked confused. What's that? It's a credit card. Okay. We take cash here. Oh. He patted his pockets. He went his belly and into his thighs and said, shit, you got any cash? I shook my head. Who the fuck carries cash anymore? No. I got my fucking card with me and I got my phone. Okay. You guys have an ATM? She said, what? An ATM? No, we don't have an ATM. We carry cash. That's it. Money. Okay. Well. Alrighty. Guess we'll come back. We left the items and walked outside, and I said, you know what, dude? I'll just find us an ATM real quick and get some cash and come right back. Pulled out my phone, went to look up the nearest bank, and the phone said no signal. Dude, does your phone have any signal? He took his out and looked. Fuck. You would think I'd be able to get something out here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No, I got no fucking signal. What the hell's going on? I don't know. This is fucking weird. Yeah, this is starting to get painful. Yeah? Yeah, really painful. I think we need to go... Shit, I can't even ride on your fucking bike. No, you can't. Fuck. Well, maybe we'll just walk out of here. You can drive out and I'll just fucking walk out. I don't know. I kind of want to get out of here. This is kind of crazy. It was about that time we noticed an old school cop car rolled up. And out came a man. At first, we thought was a man. Had shades on and really long hair. I mean, really long hair. And he had those mirrored glasses. It was a weird look, to say the least. To see a cop with hair that hung past the small of his back, and then I remind myself, oh, reservation. Okay, maybe that makes more sense. The man walked up. Where are you folks from? I pulled out my ID, showed it to him. I don't believe I asked you for your ID. I just asked you, where are you folks from? Oh, I'm from Oakland. And dipshit here is from San Francisco. Ah, I see. You folks aren't supposed to really be here. Oh, well, my friend's bike broke, and we decided to come in here for some repairs, but they don't take cards here. He smiled. No, I imagine they wouldn't take cards here. Listen, why don't you guys get on your bike, roll back up that road, and get out of here? It was at this time Jackson felt a little emboldened. He felt the need to assert himself. Excuse me, sir, I believe we're in America. It's a fucking free country, and we're not breaking any laws or anything. We can be here if we want to be here. The man pulled off his shades, and all we saw was pitch black eyeballs. There were no whites. There were no eyes really to see, just black orbs. Almost to illustrate a point of, boy, don't fuck with me. He looked at him, and Jackson immediately backed the fuck up. The man said, I don't think you fucking understand me, boy. You need to get the fuck out of here. And in regards to your, oh, this is America shit, here, I am beyond the law. I am the law. I am fucking God here. Do you understand me, boy? Jackson nodded, terrified. There was something in the man's voice, a growl, something that wasn't quite audible, but you could feel it. I had goosebumps. Sir, we don't mean any problems or anything. We want to leave. My friend's bike has a problem. Really? Let me take a look. The man, at least I'm going to call him that, just to keep things simple, walked over and examined the bike. He looked at my bike. He nodded in approval and smiled. Nice bike. He looked at my friend's. Piece of shit. And again, despite my fear, I had to chuckle. I keep telling him that. Fine, I'll get a different fucking bike, okay? I don't give a shit. I just want to go. The man kneeled down and looked. Yeah, it's good that you actually pulled in. This type of a mechanical failure on this, you'd have been stranded. Give me a second. He walked in, grabbed everything he needed. Nobody said shit to him. He walked out. He actually bent down and started repairing the bike. Cool, I thought. There. Done. When you leave, make sure you stay straight. Do not go left, do not go right, and do not come back, but you go straight the way you came. Do you understand me? I nodded. Yes, sir, I understand. Go straight. Do not go in any other direction. Good. Because if I find you again, if you are here again, I won't be so kind. We understand each other? Yes, sir. Good. You folks have a nice day now. He went and got back in the car, rolled out. I looked at Jackson. Motherfucker, are you ready or what? He nodded. What the fuck was that, dude? Dude, you know what? I don't care. Let's just get the fuck out of here. We got our bikes. Brum, 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 brum. He started his up. Holy shit. Let's go. So we started to ride out. We got up. Suddenly the road forked in 5 different paths. There was one that looked like it went straight, but as it started to go straight, it suddenly veered hard right. That made my stomach flip-flop. I looked at Jackson. Shit. Which one is straight? The one in the middle, right? You sure about that? It kind of loops. Wait a minute. How is that possible? We looked straight, and as we looked, we saw that it went forward, and we could see that it would start to loop. We looked to the one to the right. It went straight, and it looked like it also looped to the right. We looked all the way to the right. That one looked like it went straight, but then it looped towards the left. And as we did each of the paths and looked at it, they all looked like they would loop deeply. You get the feeling something's fucking with us? Maybe. It was about that time we heard, "Hey, fuckers, fuckers, fuckers." What the shit was that? I don't know, it kind of sounded like a bird. We looked to our right. There were 3 blackbirds sitting there. There was a big one. There was a really small one. And there was an immensely fat one. The center one said, "Sup, fuckers." And the other 2 mimicked it. "Sup, fuckers, sup, fuckers." We're like, wow, that's irritating. Then I realized they were actually talking to us. So I looked at the center one. He had his head held high. "Hey, you happen to know the right way out of here?" "I sure do, honey buns. I sure do, honey buns. I sure do, honey buns." Fuck. Are they going to repeat everything you say? "That's right, that's right, that's right." Fuck. Well, good. If you know the way out, can you tell us which way? "I don't know, maybe. If you give me a little kissy. Are you fucking shitting me? Look, I'm not going to kiss you, alright? I just need to know the way out of here. "Well, that's the price, honey. That's the price, honey. That's the price, honey." Fuck. Let me get this straight. So, if I kiss you, you will tell us the right way out of here. "That's right, sugar tits. That's right, sugar tits. That's right, sugar tits." Look, you narcissistic blackbird, give me the fucking way out of here, or how about I kick you in the fucking beak? That would be bad. That would be bad. That'd be bad. Fine. I'll give you a kiss. Get up on my bike. It flapped up, sat in front of me. I could see my reflection in its eyes. It leaned its beaks forward. "Come on, sugar. Come on, sugar. Come on, sugar." I kissed its beak. "Oh, that was a nice kiss. Just nice kiss. You want to take the far right path. That's the way out of here. That's the only way out of here. Only way out of here. Only way out of here." Fine, then. I will. It's good seeing you, narcissistic blackbird. Have fucking fun. So I looked at Jackson. He nodded. We took the right path. We kinda didn't want to. Something told me this was probably a bad thing. We rolled that way. It looped. And it looped again. And it looped again. And it looped again. And it looped so many times that suddenly I was disoriented. And then we hit the end of the road and it was a beach. Fuck. "I don't think that was the right road," Jackson said. "You fucking think, dude? Shit." I got off my bike. I walked off into the sand. "What are you doing? I need to fucking think, okay? I need to figure this out. Obviously, this is some kind of a fucking riddle, and I just need to figure it out." Fine. He sat down next to me. We were sitting on the beach. Waves were crashing. "Oh my God, do you remember? Remember what? The last time we actually sat on the beach?" "Oh my God. Yeah. I think you were telling me you had just got tested and found out you had chlamydia." Really? That's your takeaway? That's what you remember about that night? Actually, it was uncomfortable. That was the time, even after he admitted he had chlamydia, he actually kissed me. And it wasn't a bad kiss. I just didn't think of him that way. "Yeah, Jackson, I know. You still got a thing for me, and I can't blame you. But let's think with the right head, shall we?" He made a face. I could tell it hurt, but we had bigger fish to fry than his puppy love for me. "Yeah, I suppose you're right, but what are we gonna do? I mean, I'm really scared of that fucking cop, man. That dude scared the shit out of me." I nodded. He kind of reminded me of, Remember the guy we had in PE? The really super intense coach? Oh my god. Yeah, what was his fucking name? I don't know. Fuck. I can't, it's been so long. We called him Coach something or other. Coach Dick, Coach whatever. But do you remember? Do you remember some of his speeches, about right and wrong and this and that and the fucking gooks and blah blah blah? Oh my god. Yeah, I remember that piece of shit. He was something else. He was like a real serious warmongering psycho, wasn't he? Like, we were like, good thing he's not actively in the military or anything. Well, no, I think he was in the military. But anyway, he was a real shitty coach. But that's what that cop reminds me of. That's why I was so fucking scared of him. Really, it wasn't the black eyes that fucking scared you, because that scared me more than anything else. Eyeballs like that aren't supposed to happen. Yeah, I guess you're right. So what are we gonna do? Fuck. I don't know. I guess we could always try to go back the road, and we could try each one of them until we figure this out. Well, we better figure it out soon, because it's getting fucking dark. I nodded. Something told us. Something primal. Maybe it was a touch of the supernatural that we had tapped into in this weird place. Something that told us if we didn't get out of here before the sun went down, that would be bad. That would be super bad. Well, if we don't figure a way out of here and he comes back, what's the game plan? I don't know. Shit. Meow. I heard a meow. I looked around. What the fuck now? I mean, I had to fucking kiss a fucking bird. What, next I'm gonna have you eat some pussy? He looked at me and he laughed. You wish. No, you fucking wish. So we heard another meow. And we hunted for it. We could hear it, but we couldn't quite see it. So we walked along the beach, and it got a little bit louder. Meow. We walked a little bit more, and there was a little series of caves, and out in front of it, there was a cat. No, it wasn't a normal cat. This one seemed very colorful, a little too colorful to be realistic. Jackson basically sneered and said, "Shit, are you fucking kidding me? What the hell is that? Is that some kind of a mystic rainbow calico kitten that we're seeing right there? I mean, what's next? Seriously, what the fuck is next? Huh? Dude, just fucking relax. Everything seems to be happening for a reason. Let's just go see what the fuck the cat has, okay? Kitten. What? It's a kitten. How the fuck do you know it's a kitten? Because look." I looked. Sure enough, it was super cute. And it was very small and tiny. Fine. I guess you're right. It is a fucking kitten, okay? So I walked over to the kitten. "Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. How you doing, kitty, kitty, kitty? Meow." I went over and I pet it. And as I pet the cat, it went prismatic. I shit you not. I understood now why the cat had some kind of a prismatic rainbow sheen to it. Its fur was catching the light and reflecting it. Almost really directional, like a spotlight. And as I ran my hand along its fur, breaking the natural angles of its fur, light bounced and moved all over the place. Suddenly, I was covered in an actual rainbow. And let me tell you, it's a very interesting experience to be covered inside of a rainbow. Very electrical, very interesting. I took my hand away from the cat, and the cat was purring as I was petting it. And as I stopped petting it, it kind of... Jackson stood next to me and started laughing. "I think the cat wants you to pet it some more." Yeah, I think you're right. I noticed there were several shelves on the ground leading up to the cave. Do you see something there? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like maybe breadcrumbs or something. Yeah, but they're made out of shells. The cat started to walk around my leg and then walked forward as if saying, "Come Come on, follow me, stupid. I looked at Jackson. Jackson looked at me, shrugged. Fuck, follow the kitten. So we followed the kitten. Kitten led us to the front of the cave. The cave had several shells. 3 of them, though, were very interesting. They were abalone shells, and they caught the rainbow generating off of the kitten, and they glowed brightly. Huh! Suddenly we heard flapping. We looked. The 3 blackbirds were sitting there. Oh, fucking great. Look who decided to show up. The big bird smiled, tilted his head, stared at me. The little one also. The center bird looked somewhat concerned. He shook his head. I'm like, what? He said nothing, but he shook his head. Jackson picked up the shell, the center one, looked at it, rubbed it on the inside. There's something interesting about these shells. What? I don't know. There's something to them, though. Like when I lift this one, it feels very light. Watch. He tossed it over to me and I caught it. Whoa. I expected some kind of a heft. These were really large shells. But it weighed next to nothing. I tossed it back to him. He held it again. But this one, he held one and he struggled to lift it. This one is fucking heavy as shit. I said, don't throw that at me, motherfucker. If it's heavy, I don't want it. He put it back down. Then he grabbed the 3rd one. This one right here feels about right. It feels how it's supposed to feel. And he put it back down. Cinderbird started laughing. Oh, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. Yeah, 3 seashells. 3 seashells. Oh, so there's something to him, huh? I looked at Jackson. It's a riddle. It's something to do. How were those shells arranged in the first place? He showed it to me. Where's the light one? It was the center one. Where's the heavy one? It was the one that was to the left. And the one that feels normal? It was to the right. Huh. And how are they on the ground? He lifted it and looked. Holy shit. There's like a impression or something here. It's like they fit. Like they just slot in. Ah. This is a puzzle. Why don't you try the lightest one left, the normal one center, and the heaviest one to the right? He looked at me. Psst, whatever. So he did. He put them in. Chunk, chunk, chunk. They sat, and they glowed. They glowed brightly. The light of them enveloped the kitten. The kitten smiled, and it started to grow. Take the shells out. What? Take the shells out. Why? Take the fucking shells out. He wasn't moving fast enough. The kitten was now the size of a fucking tiger. It was huge. And it wasn't just the size of it that got bigger. The claws got bigger. And the teeth got bigger. Oh, shit. I said. It swiped out. And I thought for a moment that Jackson was going to die. He got hit with the paw, fell to the ground, and then a kitten, well, the tiger, got on top of him, held him down, stared into his eyes. He screamed. It wasn't a pretty scream. It wasn't even a guttural horror scream that would have been appropriate. This was more a very bitch-like scream that if we survived, I would tease him for all of eternity. The kitten, tiger, licked him. I paused. What the fuck? It licked him again, and I could hear a deep purr as it licked him. He had his hands up. He was still screaming. I yelled, Jackson! Jackson! Stop it! He stopped screaming. The kitten tiger licked him again, nuzzled its big massive head against his body. What the fuck? He said. He was shaking so hard, which I couldn't blame him. The thing that had its paw holding him down that started off as this super cute kitten was now the most horrific thing either one of us had ever seen before. Okay, Billie, what do I do? Did you shit yourself? No, I took a shit earlier, thank God. Okay, well, it's not killing you, so that's a good thing. Yeah, but maybe it's playing cat and mouse with me. You ever see a fucking cat when it has a mouse and it's fucked up? Be positive, okay? I stepped forward. He looked up at me. I reached out a hand, very cautiously, and I scratched behind its ear. Its ear was bigger than my chest. I realized it was still getting bigger. I looked at the shells. They were almost gone. They were shrinking. Suddenly the shells disappeared. The blackbirds laughed. They flew in circles over us. Have fun, have fun, have fun. I'm like, great. What the fuck does that mean? The sun was going down. The kitten tiger lifted his paws off of Jackson and then was very content with me scratching behind its ear. It fell to the ground, rolled, revealed its belly to me. I took position and just rubbed its belly and did slow, normal strokes on its stomach as I looked at Jackson. All right, what are we doing? Things are getting a little bit more crazy now, I think. He goes, you fucking think? And then he started into this flow of incoherent words. He had mentally snapped. He was no longer speaking regular English. The word structures he was throwing out and the velocity in which they were coming was beyond any form of verbal enema that I had ever heard in my entire life. I stared at him. Are you fucking serious, dude? Shut the fuck up and get your shit together. Nut up, motherfucker. Look at that. Are you fucking shitting me? Look at that. And fucking birds and black-eyed fucking cops. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? I nodded. I get it. I get it. This is a crazy fucking situation, but guess what? Guess what? What? We're still alive. That hit him. That's what he needed to hear. He just needed a little bit of hope, something to grasp onto to keep him there. What the fuck are we gonna do? I'm so fucking scared, dude. I've never been this scared in my life. As I pet the kitten tiger, I realized we had a powerful ally with us. Dude, I think this might work out well for us. How do you figure that? Look what I'm petting. Yeah, I think it likes us. For now? Okay. Let's see if maybe it can help us. Whatever. The sun started going down. The sky started twinkling. Stars came out. Constellations I had never seen before. There were floating lights in the sky, darting this way and that, reminding me of Foo Fighters, things that military used to talk about in the sky. These weren't aliens, though. These were something else, but they darted around and they seemed to have some form of intelligence because they could stop, move, dart, move again, and suddenly stop again. But they were bright. At this point, I didn't care. I looked at the kitten tiger. It stared at me, almost expectantly, like it knew I was going to ask it something. Hey you. And I scratched under its chin. Its mouth opened. I realized I could crawl in its fucking mouth and half of my body would rest very comfortably on its big fucking tongue. This thing was powerful. Hey, how about we help each other out, huh? Huh? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? It smiled. And it purred. And then it looked at Jackson. No, we don't eat Jackson. Jackson's our friend. Jackson's good. Huh, Jackson, come pet the kitten. Come pet the kitten. He came over, hands shaking, terrified. He pet it, and it's purr. Hey, can you help us get out of here? It kind of perked its head a little bit, and it nodded. It understood what we were saying. So you know what I'm saying, right? Again, it nodded. What do you think of the officer, the policeman? It didn't look for a second. It didn't register. It didn't understand what I was saying. The man with the black eyes, said Jackson. The kitten tiger roared. Something foul, something horrible. We both fell back. It stood up. It was angry. You know Black Eyes, huh? It nodded. It scratched at the ground. It turned, showed us its backside. We were confused for a moment. Why is it showing us? Then we saw on its back flank there was a scar. Almost didn't see it because of the fur. Jackson walked up, petted gently, lifted the fur. We could see there was a big gash. It was healed up, but there was a scar there. It turned and looked at it, looked at us. We understood. Black Eyes did that to you? It nodded. When you were small? Again, it nodded. You think it could hurt you now? It smiled. Oh, good. Okay. Do you know how to get out of here? Again, it nodded. Would you be kind enough to help us? It thought for a second, and it looked sad, and then it shook its head. You don't want to help us? Again, it shook its head. Then Jackson pet it. Is it because you're lonely? And it nodded. We felt bad. So no one ever helps you or takes care of you? Again, it shook its head. I decided, fuck it. I know what we'll do. I'll tell you what, Kitten. You help me get my friend Jackson out of here. I'll stay and help you. Its eyes got wide. It looked at me. Hopefully. Jackson looked at me. Dude, no. You can't stay here. If you fucking stay here, I'm staying here. Jackson, you're a little bitch. You wouldn't last another day here, okay? There's something about this place. It's weird, but feels familiar to me. I think we are supposed to come here. But I don't think you're supposed to be here. He looked at me again. Dude, you're fucking nuts. Let's just find out where the exit is and we'll make a decision right when we get there. I nodded. That seemed like a good plan. Okay, Kitten. I pet it. I will stay here with you. You help me get my friend out. The kitten smiled. Purred. Reminded me of my motorcycle, the purr. It was a deep, throaty, almost rhythmic, powerful purr. And then a thought occurred to me. It was big. Hey, I got an idea. Can I try something? The kitten smiled at me. I think it knew what I was thinking. I climbed up on it, sat on its back. Now it was really pouring. There was something powerful about being on the back of the kitten tiger. I could feel its breathing. As it took a breath, I could feel the lungs expanding, ribs expanding as well. And I could feel its heartbeat. On my left calf. Powerful. Okay. Let's head back to the bikes. We went back to the bikes. Jackson looked at me. He was about to get on his. No, Jackson. You're not riding that piece of shit anymore. Take mine. He looked at me. You real? You for real? Dude, you need a real bike. Okay? Yours is a piece of shit. I'm tired of you riding on it. You can have mine. He looked at me, shocked. The bike had been in my family. It was my father's. I had helped my father work on that bike for years and years and years. And when my dad died, he handed it to me. It was my inheritance. The only thing I had left of my father. And I loved my dad. Jackson knew all of this. There were tears in his eyes. He knew. I wasn't bullshitting when I said I was going to stay. I can't do that, dude. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you will. What am I going to tell people in the real world? Fuck, I don't know. Figure something out. You know, if you want, fuck. Here, I went into my bag, my saddle bag, took out a piece of paper, wrote a bunch of notes on it real quick, signed it, put it back in the bag. There's a note in there. You can read it once you get out. Okay? He looked at me. No, dude, I can't. You can. Let's go. He got on my bike, revved it. I could see he liked it. And I looked at him. Now you're playing with power, bitch. He throttled it, started to go forward. We ended up back at the choice again. The tiger, the kitten tiger, looked confused. Then it nodded. It looked. The blackbirds were there. It walked over to the center bird. I couldn't see it very well from the back of it. Jackson was sitting next to me on the bike. It looked at the birds. The center bird looked at the tiger, kitten tiger, defiantly, like, yeah, bitch, what you gonna do? The tiger swiped. Nailed the blackbird. Blackbird fell to the side. The other two birds vanished. The blackbird got a little larger. Oh, really? You want to fucking play, huh? So suddenly, it launched out. But the wings weren't wings anymore. They were arms. The kitten tiger fought, bit, hit the bird, got the bird right at the neck, snapped the neck, and then the bird died. We heard the sound of tires rolling up, and I heard Jackson say, fuck. The cop was there, staring at us. He saw me on the back of the tiger, the kitten tiger. You need to get the fuck up off of that. And I told you motherfuckers you need to leave. Jackson tried to explain. The fucking birds lied to us, man. The birds lied to us. He looked. He saw it dead. He saw the kitten tiger crouched, waiting. He thought, considered. He looked at me on the back of the kitten tiger. He smiled. I see. Interesting. All right. Let's see how this plays out. You. He motioned to Jackson. Get the fuck out of here. You. He looked at me. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again. I nodded at him. I'm sure we look forward to it. The kitten tiger roared, growled slightly. He nodded, got back in his car, and rolled past us. The roads in front of us suddenly converged into a single path. And for a moment, I felt severe disorientation. Jackson saw it. Dude, there it is. It's fucking straight up. All right, let's go. Jackson started driving. I followed on the kitten tiger. We got all the way to the edge where we could see the main road. Kitten tiger stopped. Looked at me. Almost as if to say, you know what? If you want to go, you can. I pet it. I leaned in and hugged it. Leaned my forehead against the back of his skull. I could feel something peaceful. I looked at Jackson. There you go. Hey, get the fuck out of here now, dude. He looked at me. You serious? Yeah. Yeah. I think it's fine. Whatever, dude. I could tell he was relieved. He got him. He throttled the bike. He went forward. And as he hit the edge of the road, I saw a shimmer. It almost looked as if he rode through water. There was a ripple. He went through on the other side, turned suddenly and looked, and he looked confused. He looked amazed. He got off the bike, walked forward, touched something, then turned around, walked back to the bike, took out the note, and he read it. As he read it, I saw him cry. Tears streamed down his face. He screamed something I couldn't hear. I watched. I waited. Until finally, 30 minutes later, he folded the paper up, put it back into the bike, and he rode off. I looked at the kitten tiger. Kid Tiger turned, started to walk. You got somewhere we can go? Kid Tiger nodded, started to run. The power between my legs. I felt alive. We got back towards the beach. There was the caves. We went into the caves. Inside the cave, nestled nice and neat inside, was a bed, several dressers, clothing, and other items. Kid Tiger waited. I got off. I walked in. I looked around, and I said, huh, so this is home now, huh? Kid Tiger purred. Okay, let's see what happens now. All right, that's where I'm going to end it. Let's see, did I get everything? Beyond the Law, I Am the Law, Rebel Yell, Foo Fighters, Oh, He Doesn't Know How to Use the Three Seashells, Narcissistic Blackbird, Antifreeze, Harley Davidson, Hardtail, motorcycle, which was really prominent. I mean, that was a really nice bike, so that played very, very well. Verbal Enema, that was a tough one to try to fit in. OICU 812, that was pretty easy. Mystic Rainbow Calico Kitten ended up kind of just, I don't know what the fuck, that just ended up shifting into some really fun things. Chlamydia, that was fairly easy to slide in there, and Warmongering was a little bit interesting as well. But yeah, that was a very weird story. But I think overall it ended up okay. It started off a little rough, and then as it started to go, I started to get a feel where it was going to end up. So it started to get a little bit better. Yeah, there's definitely a lot. This was probably one of the harder ones to get a lot of the words in there. And it's funny because right when I started to see some of these words, I had these archetypes in my head. So the some of the symbolism they were seeing in this environment was pulled from their subconscious. So, for example, Jackson was a retro loving music connoisseur, so hence there was the cassette tapes. So this environment was manifesting some of their things. The cop, that was an archetype of something that was authoritative but yet scary at the same time, right? The birds, that was pulled from their collective mind because they had both seen Dumbo growing up. So there was the blackbirds that were sitting there talking smack and stuff like that. And the kiss, the kiss was something that was, it was trying to get kind of alluding to, you kissed a frog and you get the prince. Well, it was like more like embrace the darkness and, give us what we want, right? So it's a slippery slope. Once you give in to something, then it becomes more and more. So there was a certain archetype that happened there. And then, and also, the cop, the mannerism of the cop and stuff reflected one of the scariest people that Jackson was afraid of. So what was the White Indian? So the White Indian was kind of a play off of Billie's heritage. So she actually did have a little bit of native blood in her, but she never acknowledged it. She avoided it, never thought about it. And, because she only has a little bit, and she wasn't one of those people that said, oh, I'm a native and blah, blah, blah. So it was one of those things that is in her blood, but she never acknowledged it. That's why the woman at one point just kind of looked at her and said, oh, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here, like whatever. And then ignored her the same way that she would ignore her own heritage. So there was a lot of stuff that started to kind of piece together as I told the story. And I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, I see what's going on here and why there's these pieces that are popping in. So, there was, and that's why she realized, you know what, I need to be here because there was some stuff that she had that wasn't resolved. Now, the reason that Jackson cried the way that he cried was Billie actually did care for him, but she knew they could never really work it out. She didn't feel the way that he needed her to feel because there was always a part of her that was missing. Like, she never knew her mom. She knew her dad. She grew up with her dad. Her dad and her were like super tight. And so, the father imprinted on her like the perfect male figure in her mind. And then she knew that she loved him, but it was a complicated thing. So in the note, she said, don't cry. I love you, but I can never love you the way you need to be loved. And somebody's out there that's going to be good for you. And now that you have this bike, maybe you'll get the right kind of person, right? So it was kind of another play on the whole bike thing, because like he had this rice rocket bike. It was really show no go type of thing, and here she had this old school Harley that was built. They built it with their hands, like they restored it back to where it was and everything. And it was just a fucking super cool bike for her. And he knew how much she loved it, and for her to give it to him and say, me sacrificing myself so you can escape is the final testament for me to let you know, hey, I did love you, but it's a deeper love than what you thought we could have. So anyway, that's the breakdown on the story there, the post-mortem, I guess. It was a crazy story. It was a crazy story. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. The notes that I had put for myself was Billie and Jackson road trip, run in with a weird cop, reservation/ocean. So, and then also the other thing that I felt was interesting was the seashells. So I used those also symbolically. They were abalone shells. They were also prismatic, matching the Calico cat's rainbow fur. And, by restructuring them from the lightest to the heaviest, basically would transform it from the smallest to the largest. So they could have went the opposite direction. They could have went heaviest to lightest, and then the kitten would have just been teeny tiny. It would have been the size of, a little grain of sand that could run around on their hand. So it just was something that they kind of lucked into with the way that they solved it. There were multiple ways to solve that puzzle, but the way they solved it actually ended up solving a bigger issue, which was to manifest something inside of that environment to be able to counteract the darkness that was going to... So again, remember they said they have to leave before sunset. Well, sunset, that's the absence of light, so the darkness is strongest in the dark, in the darkness. So they needed something to kind of reflect the light, to be the light. And so the kitten cat ended up being that beacon of light, that hope, and that essence to shine through. So that's why it was significant for them to be out of there before dark, because when the darkness would come, whatever. And so the fact that she has a cave that already is furnished and everything else, that again is the power of her mind being able to create something for her to be able to exist inside of this mystical environment. So it could be interesting. This could be a fun series. I'm not quite sure where it would go, but it definitely seems like the cop, dark eyes, black eyes, it definitely seems like he thought she was very interesting. So it'll be fun to see what happens with them in the future. I'm not quite sure yet. But anyway, that's it. And I did tell you guys we'd go a little bit longer on this one because the middle part, when we were going through the words, there were some words I had to do some research and stuff like that. But that's it. So that's going to end this one. I will figure out a title and some artwork for this. I will then take the audio of this, put it up for podcast. That'll be later on tonight. And this episode right here will be showing up on Real-Time Storytime almost immediately. So again, thank you guys for contributing. As always, you guys give me some fun words that are very challenging. And the funny thing was, this one wasn't very vulgar. There wasn't anything in here that was, thing. I threw some profanity in there a little bit and stuff like that. But it wasn't what you guys provided. So, kudos to you guys for giving me something challenging, and also for keeping it, kind because some of you guys will throw some really crazy stuff out there, but this one was actually pretty interesting. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Again, I won't be here next week, but I have something planned. You notice right there on the current project, we have Harry's Situation. I just finished rewriting that in a novella format. For you folks that remember the original Harry's Situation story, it's basically kind of the same story, you know, same basic get down, but this is so much more fleshed out, so much more crazy and interesting. I'm gonna do the audio recording for that, so you guys will be able to get the entire story next week at this time for Harry's Situation, and that's coming out in book format. So you guys that were in on that one, you guys are going to enjoy it. Your names are in it, everything else. So when you guys contribute to the things like this, and I end up transcribing and making a novella and everything else, you guys are contributing, so you guys get kind of a little byline on there for your words and stuff that you provide. So I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised next week around this time for the Harry's Situation story. And then I will be back the following Sunday to go ahead and pick everything back up where we left off. So that's it for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, man.